What's going on, y'all? You know the time has. Ooh, I don't even know what time it is. What time it is? Let me look on this tablet here and see what time it is. Damn, I went live at 5:09 p.m. Wednesday the 27th. Damn, Wednesday is just about gone. Shit, before you know it, in several more hours, shit, this day will be over with. Mm-hmm. It's 5:09 p.m. So I'm live at 5:09. So tomorrow about this time, 5:09, this video, I'm pretty sure it'll be a day old, 24, it'll be 24 hours and everything. All right. Let's see here. Wait a minute. Let me make sure then I get off into see here. Okay. As y'all can see the title right there. Don't judge a book by its cover. Years ago, I did some videos just like this. These were the very first type of videos that I did back in 2013 before they changed up YouTube and before they went to this damn StreamYard shit. From StreamYard to live streaming and all that. And they took away the Google Hangout, the Google Plus, and all that shit. You know what I mean? Um, the real apps. You know what I'm saying? The real thing that was really doing the real work. This new shit that they got ain't worth a damn. But anyway, I did a video about a couple of them on my channels. Like, yeah, that channel I don't have it no more because I was saying country. I was speaking in on Black history, the same, like similar to the things that I say on my video now that about the Christians and the white man and all that type of stuff. How they push religion, the slave masters gave our people religion and stuff. And that's how I ended up losing that first channel. It was called Clarence Ray, simple as that. Back in the day, I would say Clarence Ray YouTube, and you can pull it up. But YouTube pretty much in Google, they took it down, and because certain things was offensive to them in what I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I really miss my channel, because I had a lot of history stuff on the channel that I was saying, some really good stuff. And it really would educate you. You know what I'm saying? Not just bullshit. It was the real deal. All right. Let's read First Samuel chapter 16 and verse. Let's start at verse 6. And it came to pass when they were come that he looking on Eliab and said, surely the Lord's anointing is before him. Talking about Samuel. Okay. This was going into the part when they was when they anointed Samuel. God had anointed um, they made Samuel a king or something like that. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, nor on the height of his stature, because I refuse him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. This going into, you can't look at people, and I'm gonna tell you about me. People have looked at me, and some people have said years ago, like when I was in my 30s, they said I was crazy. Somebody they looked at, they told somebody else, and it was a friend of mine. He came back and told me that the woman said that I was crazy, that I looked crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying to myself, okay, I don't know her. She didn't know me. My purpose was, they judge me, but My intentions was to really get to know them. That was my intention, to get to know her. But she judged me, didn't even know me. I didn't even know her, but I didn't judge her. I wasn't willing to sit up there and judge her based up off of how she looked. I wanted to get to know and see what was in here. But the person said I was crazy. There are different types of crazy, but crazy as in somebody that's, I don't know what they was getting at, but it wasn't nothing good. You know what I'm saying? So I just said they don't know me like that. If they would have gave me a chance to speak and to open my mouth and speak, they probably would have had, more than likely they'd had a different perception. They'd had a they would have had a they would have went from having a negative perception to a positive or good perception of me. They wouldn't have been thinking, no longer thinking of that. Uh, Back in the day, I did do a video about this. You cannot judge a book by its cover. This was back in the 2013 when I did this. Yep, this is when I was fresh to YouTube. YouTube to me was still fresh on the scene, but there wasn't no such thing as no StreamYard and live streaming and all of that. Like I said, all that stuff was good, but they changed it up, and it's not as fun as it used to. Well, it's fun, but we like the older part of it. You know what I'm saying? But let's read this here in 1 Samuel 16:7. Let's reiterate this reading. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, nor on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. For a man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. You know, you have a lot of people to this day. When I look at a lot of the videos on YouTube, I see Brother London's they make gold digger pranks, Naya Prince, and they come as regular people. They appear as regular people. They be on the sidewalk, and they be wanting to see how the women would treat them if they would just look like they just didn't have nothing, just regular people with just undercover, like people that's well off, but not looking well off, not looking like you blowed up like that. You bossed, what they call bossed up and all that type of stuff. So they use them type of videos is to see what type of mindset that these women have. So based upon when they watch the video, they want to see who want to judge them based upon how the outward appearance of not having nothing versus a woman just looking at you and seeing you for what they can get out of you and what they got. And this is the reason why this don't judge a book by its cover when you look at people, because a lot of people can be not rich. They may not have it like that. But if they treating you nice, they're genuine, they just doing everything that they treating you like a lady, respecting you and doing all these different things and things of that nature, should be more important, and they priorities in that, because you can be getting all of that, getting the money, getting the bag, or whatever. Today, that's what they call it, the bag, the money, and all that type of stuff. I like money, this and that, and the third. You have some of the women that will sit up there and say, well, even though if he treated me bad, but he giving me some money and he bossed up and he got all the money, I'm still going to stay with him, even though he mistreated me, but I'm getting all the money and the wealth. Like, that's not right. You know what I'm saying? That's bad. You in into the bag. You don't care what happened. You don't care. All you care about is the bag, the money, stuff like that. So they would ask other women, and I'm not jumping off topic. It's, it ties in with this. And you can't judge a book by its cover. And that's what most of those women do. When the men walk up and say, excuse me, this and that, they a lot of time they act like they don't even hear them and just keep walking. I don't know why women do that, What is it in them that do that? Sometimes I think like this: is it something that they are just born into, or they just some people? The way I'm looking at it from this here, some people are just natural born, just evil by nature. They just selfish and users and just wicked ass people by nature. They ain't got nothing to do with a past experience. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. No, your ass just damn using you a damn low down dirty motherfucker. That's what I'm saying. Some people are just a certain way by nature. That's the way I see it. But you have a few that will look at them and date them and want you. It ain't all about what they can do and what they got and stuff. It's about us working as an empire and working together and building together. But they not willing to look at it like that. And then you can't walk up to a brother and say, expect for this man to be putting in everything for you. But the point is, you can't look at somebody and basically just assume that this person here is going to do this and this person here is not going to do that. You can't do that. And a lot of us, I've been guilty of that. A lot of us is, um, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. A lot of our people is like that. You see what I'm saying? They get up and they look at you and they standoffish and stuff like that. I can understand to an extent that it's a lot going on in the world. Like me, just the other day, I was asking. I had walked up to, she was an elderly woman, and I want y'all to tell me what y'all think might have been going on. Because at the time, I was just trying to get some change for a bill. You want to break it down into maybe a couple of ones, a couple of fives, or something like that. And you go off and say, "Excuse me, do you showed them the change?" And she said, she just shook her head, no. And the vibe that I got, hell no, get the hell away from me. I don't know what you're up to. I don't know if you're trying to do something. It's like, it's sad that you got you gonna be judged, and a lot of people done made it bad for the people that actually. It's just a whole lot of stuff going on in that situation. You know what I mean? And I tried to understand. I tried to say, okay, think about it if it was you. If somebody walked up to you and just was asking you for this and asking you for that, and they did it all the time. How would you feel? I said, well, you know what? You can't really judge a book by its cover or whatever, because you never know what the person went through. It could have, I said, well, maybe she could have had a bad experience with somebody and she could have, whatever. So I tried, what the point is, I tried not to hard, even though it was hard for me, because it's hard when you get, it's tough when you get, it's not easy, it's not tough. I mean, it's tough when you get rejected, especially you being you're being an innocent, you're doing it in an innocent form, but they don't know that. You see what I'm saying? So let me know what y'all think in the comments about that. Do you think like the good people are gonna suffer for what the bad people are doing and all that type of stuff, or whatever? Give me your thoughts, because you know how you can walk up to, you be in town, you ain't you ain't that type of person. You ain't that. If you watching this hand, just like me, I know I'm not that type of person. The Most High God knows that, but see, the person don't know that. You know what I'm saying? When you walk up and you try to be as respectful as possible, you try to, like, you know what I'm saying? But no matter, regardless of how you come, they ain't trying to hear that. They ain't trying. They looking at, hey, you walked up to me like this, and I don't know you. It's like you walking up on me like that. I don't give a damn how kind, how whatever you is. Don't walk up on me like that. I mean, you can't really say nothing to certain people. You know what I mean? It's like you have to do it now, because if you walk up, you're gonna be accused of being a crazy person or whatever. You look crazy. You look this here. But they haven't gotten a chance to really sit down to really get to know me and know what I was all about. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he look like he'll hurt and harm somebody. He look like he'll kill somebody. He look like he'll do this and he do that. No, if you really sit down and you really get to study the person and get to know them, and you'll be when they start see people judge you when they look at you. When they first look at you, they look at you and they're like, nah, I wouldn't fuck with that. Just like I'll give you an example. This beard on my face, you can see, everybody see that. They look at this beard and they like, oh, he look crazy. Ooh, I ain't messing with that, or something like that. People gonna judge that. You can't stop people from judging what they perception is real. Perception is a reality. Yes, it is. But when people look at you, they're going, ooh, I don't want that. And nah, that dude look crazy. I don't want to be bothered. Hell no. You know? But see, that's their perception of me. And I get it. They have a right to do what they want to do. But I'm knowing what I am. God knows what everybody's capable of doing. He knows what I'm capable of doing. He knows God, like he looked at it like this. I know he gonna take care of his mother. I know he is. They don't know that. They don't know that. See, when I go up in town and I'm just doing my business, buying my little food and stuff like that there and going about my day, people say, have a good day. And they give me a receipt, have a good day, and give you a change, have a good day, and all that type of stuff. But deep down on the inside, they don't know the type of person that I am. They don't know that. The only way you're going to know people, you got to really sit down and have a conversation with people before you meet that. That's what a lot of people mess up at. You see what I'm saying? You have to take time to really sit down and really get to know the person. Have a conversation with them. That's what you do. Take the time and have a conversation. Today, we living in a society where nobody has time for nobody. People make time for what they want to make time for. People like that. It's just in our nature to be selfish. It's just in us like that. We don't have no reason to. We just in our nature. We make up reason. Well, I can't do it because I had this so and so. I got so much on my plate. I had to do this. I had to do that. I had to do this. Right now I can't do it because I gotta take my grandkids to school. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do this and this and that. Which I get it. People are just caught up into doing things, but people make time for what they want to make time for. You looking at a man that ain't never owned a car. I never owned a car, but it don't stop me from doing the right thing. And I know if I can do this here and I ain't got no goddamn car or none of that, I know that what I'm saying, it really would just expose the excuses in the lives of people. Because they're like, damn, he ain't never had no car and he doing this shit. And I got a vehicle. Ain't no goddamn way in here that I can be framed from doing this. And that's just a lie that I'm making up in my mind or something like that. It's just people just naturally born just selfish. They don't want to take up time with you, but if they get down and out, they're gonna want you to take up time with them. But you can't judge a book by its cover. There's a scripture in the New Testament that says, "Judge nothing before the time." That means once the person open their mouth and they go to talking, that's what you can judge them by. You can judge them by what they just said. You know? I think that, let's see here. 2 Corinthians. If I don't know if it's Second Corinthians, judge nothing before the time. Yeah, but you can. While I'm looking for it, I'm just gonna be talking. That's where a lot of people mess up at. That's where a lot of women mess up at. And a lot of them is hindered in being without now. It's because they looked at a guy and judged that guy based upon just off of the looks. That's what's hindering us. That's what's hindering a lot of us because we're looking at the outward adorning appearance of a person, and we are making a decision based off of what it looks like. That's where you're gonna fuck up at. Here we go. Here it is right here. 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 4. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. But 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 5. Therefore, 1 Corinthians chapter 4, 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 5. Therefore, judge nothing before the time unto the Lord come, who both will bring to light the hidden things of darkness and will make manifest the counsels of the hearts. And then shall every man have praises of God. You got to sit down and you got to have a conversation with people. That's what it's saying. 1 Corinthians 4, verse 5. Therefore, judge nothing before the time until the Lord come, who will both bring to light the hidden things of darkness. See, when you talk to people, just like if you talk to women enough and you want to find out that they're a gold digger, or they just out for your money, all you got to do is just talk, keep talking to them, and the more they talk, the more you're going to realize that this person ain't really serious about no damn marriage. This person ain't really about no marriage. This person is all about what they can get out of me. But before then, I can't judge that because I don't know that person. But after I have a conversation with them and just listen to them talk, or even by their action, sometimes their action can tell that they not into you like that. If, like for example, if a woman is somebody is interested in me, if I make the first initial and say and start talking, and the person ignore me, they just keep going or whatever while I'm trying to talk to them or whatever, and they just keep going or whatever, and they doing that's right. That's enough right there. Don't wait and then come back. As soon as you see me go to an expense, you thought I wasn't really bossed up. Don't come back with, well, I see you got a lot going for yourself, and I see that you can take care of me. No, that ain't how it works. Although I never owned a car, but if you walked up to me and did that, I wouldn't even have a conversation with you. I would be cussing you out while you're coming back. When I get through being disrespectful to you and you walking back, as soon as I'm not gonna even talk to you. I would never. They will look at me and my videos would never be entertaining. If I see a gold digger or whatever, and they judge me based off of how I look off the rip of what they just seen, like boom, I'm gone, and you try to come back and you try to talk to me or whatever, I'm not going to give you no. I'm not going. You ain't. First of all, you would never ever get in my car. Mm-mm. That's never going to happen. Now, some of the guys put the women in their car. No, you're not doing. Well, I just had a change of mind. Get up out there, pull off. Nope. Nope. The next time the next guy come up to you, give him the time of the day, and make sure you tell all your other women friends same thing. Have a good day. Keep going. That's how I do it. Simple as that. I'm not gonna sit there and waste no time talking to you at all. Not no woman. No. If you do that, If you do that to me, which it have happened to me before when I was in my 30s, I'm 51 now. When I was in my 30s, yeah, I got rejected by a lot of women. Yeah. And I kind of see why. Because if I would have was had a lot of money, bossed up and had a lot of like what they like, yeah, I would have. But you don't need somebody that's just gonna be interested in you for what you got. That's why you can't judge a book by its cover. You may not have all of those type of things to support them and give them what they want, but you can be there for them mentally, emotionally. You can use what you got and be there for them. You can care about them. You can care about them in sickness and in health and stuff like that. They may have a job working from 9 to 5. What's wrong with that? Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's the original thing before YouTube and the internet. That's how they went to work and stuff. These women got the wrong priority about dating and stuff now. They do. They really have the wrong priorities about that. That might be why I stayed. Really, I did, because I stayed single I've been single my whole life. Because maybe God intended it for it to be that way, because he know that it wasn't going to be right. You see, God know what's right for you. He know what ain't. Just like I didn't understand why all of my brothers and my sisters, and I'm not throwing shots at nobody. All my brothers and sisters, when they got grown, they left. They got out. They left and got on their own and left. I'm the third child. I'm the only one that never went out, never had a house, never had a car, never owned a car, lived with my mother and struggled and been in poverty all my whole life. And I always wondered why these things happen the way that they happen. And I'm still talking about you can't judge a book by its cover. I would always wonder, why is this happen? Why did this happen like this? This is not normal to me, and I don't understand. So when my mother got down and she had this stroke, it started to dawn on me a little bit. Okay. Because see, God knows everything. God is powerful, man. He probably say, I'm not going to even get him involved in about it right now, because most of these people out here already know how their spirit operates. They going to be wanting them. They ain't going to respect the idea that he trying to do this, or he trying to honor his parents. He trying to do these things. Most of them not going to understand it's coming from a place like that. So he don't really need that. And I follow God. That's how it is. And I'm not tripping off of it. I got rejected a many times, but it didn't make me want to go and I got upset. I got mad. Don't get me wrong, I got mad, but it ain't make me want to go out and do no crazy shit. It just happened, So I just learned to just, find myself, and I really realized that, I understand why he's doing it, why he did everything that he did. I understand that now. Now there's a lot of things I don't understand. Why would the Most High God allow that to happen to my mother? You know what I'm saying? The Most High said, judge nothing before the time. You wonders and you think and you question. There's nothing wrong with question. People tell you ain't supposed to question God. No, that's a lie. You question the Most High. There ain't nothing wrong with that, because what did the Most High tell his father when he was being crucified? He said, my God, why have you forsaken me? He really was just asking questions. So, yeah, you can't judge a book by its cover, women, men. You can't do that, because a lot of people that went and rejected these type of people and you don't know who you rejected out here. Oh, you too short, you too tall, but we can work something out. No, you just told me a minute ago that you wasn't into me like this. So why would you want to come back and think I'm going to act a fucking fool, and sit there and listen to you try to finesse me out of the situation, because you see what I have now. Now you want to come back and try to manipulate and for the finesse. No, you're not doing that with me. No, matter of fact, like I said earlier, you ain't going to get the chance at all. Nope. Just learn from this here. I'm gonna be the whole fucking time. Take your ass and learn from this situation. Now, I'm fixing to proceed to leave. Learn from it and tell your other friend women the same thing. I'm out. Zoom, pull off. That's it. That's what I'm gonna do. Nope. You only get one time. It ain't no because you already your actions reveal everything. First impression. Don't did they always say first impression is everything? They always say first impression is everything. You know damn well you ain't gonna like. For example, if a woman tell you, "Oh, I got a history of eating cannibal," and then she come back and say, "Oh, I was just playing," you ain't gonna take that as nobody fucking playing. For something like that, you ain't gonna for something like that. Most people, you done been dealing with that. Hell, now you've been doing something with stealing, all that. I used to steal. Oh, like, oh, we can work with that. But if you say something about the number one sins, or I done murdered my family members for no reason, you know motherfucking well it ain't nobody gonna give you no goddamn second chances, no shit like that. Hell no. They'd be like, no, I wouldn't. Oh, they say, oh, I got a history of cannibal, this and that. Oh, what? They at that point, they don't give a damn how converted and how knowing that you is in God. They like they ain't trying to hear that. It's ideal you didn't have a history of this, huh? Homegirl, homeboy. Ain't nothing you can tell me. That's the way it is. You know you ain't gonna do that neither. That's watching. Yeah. But let's look at it like this. So-called, you can tell that I said that. That's why I say you can't judge a book by its cover. Ecclesiastes chapter 33, I think. Ecclesiastes chapter 33, verse 8. By the knowledge of the Lord they were distinguished, and he altered season and feasts. Now let's go to verse 11. In much knowledge the Lord divided them and made their ways diverse. He made the ways different. He made the white man's nature different. When white folks go through shit, they will unalive their people. Now I'm still here talking about you cannot judge a book by its cover. You can't look at people. This is the reason why I say you can't judge a book by just looking at it. Well, just look at it and say, oh, that's a so-and-so. Oh, that's a murderer. That's a kid. No, you can't go like that. You can't do that. A lot of people done looked at people like that and they done missed out. And then, yeah. And a lot of people done looked at people like that and they done miscapped, they done gave a misconception of people. Although perception is real, the way you present your enemies and how you purport, the way you look, that's how they right there. They're going like, I can't deal with that because they this and they that. No. Verse 11, let's read that again. In Ecclesiastes, in the Apocrypha that the Roman Catholics took out the Bible in the 17 and the 1800s, in verse 11, in much knowledge the Lord divided them and made their ways diverse. God made the ways different. That's why the so-called white people can unalive their people. That's why you have a lot of our black men shot down in the streets, police brutality, beat and slammed on the ground, because we don't have a spirit like that. We don't have a spirit is to do that type of stuff, because our ways is not the same as the culture of the white man. But you can't look at people and judge them, but you have to have a conversation first. Once you have a conversation, then you find out, just like you got some people that don't even look white. You got some people that don't even look like they from a certain tribe or whatever. You judge people by when you sit down and listen to them, not based upon skin color, not based upon you judge. You are your nation of people, depending on the DNA, what your DNA is, what your father is. That's what it depends upon. Numbers 1 and 18. They say go by the house of your father, stuff like that. You can't judge. That's why I say you can't judge a book by its cover. You can look at people and say, "Oh, that's a murderer. That's a killer. That's a robber." You can't do that because when you start talking to me, you just might be wrong. And when you'll find out that you're wrong if you really sit down and you really have a conversation with me. You'll know it's wrong, and you'll be like, I had this type of perception of you, but now you have shown me differently. I got to change all of that, the tone of what I said. Yeah, I got to change the tone of what I said because I looked at you and judged you based upon just looking at you, not even knowing nothing about you. You ain't even opened your mouth and said nothing. So the video is entitled "Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover." That's the title.